I wanted to explain a few things since I'm putting out all these videos explaining what my fiber optic solar actually does and how it relates to over unity, a word that I created and designed and came up with my own definition for long time ago. I was 14 and younger. I actually published it or documented it at the age of 14, but I had it long before that and was studying this type of stuff. But everybody loves my word, so everybody uses it freely. And boy, when I make the video showing you all the definitions of people coming up with and saying over unity, because they just like the word and no one explains the definition of over unity, which we're going to be doing in these videos, is getting down to the nitty gritty. What is over unity? Okay, so, but I wanted to explain something very important, that you can spot a fake and how I spot all these fakes. Okay, one, no one's going to spend thousands and thousands of dollars working on over unity. Okay, that's number one. No one's going to spend all this money on something that's a fake. Okay, it's going to fade away and go away. It's not going to thing. He's not going to keep putting money, thousands and thousands over years and years. It's just going to fade away and it's going to be aha. That's number one. Second of all, you're never going to see, and you have some skeptics out there that's going to say the same thing. Show me connected to your house like this. Okay, this is going to be using my theory of over unity to prove it. Let's see these right here. So first of all, let's look at this. Let's close this because I'm spending an awful lot of money to something that's supposed to fake. But once we go past all of that, we're going to say, one, I built a small one. Look at that, which we talked about in the video. Then look at this. I build a bigger one. Okay? And now we're going to build a bigger one yet, which is going to go on my house. Okay? Into the grid to run my house. Okay? So, yeah, it takes time to do all this. It takes money. When you have someone explaining the definition, explaining the physics, and giving you terms and emblems and symbols and all this other stuff to something they said they created, then backs it up with actual evidence, where they keep building the small prototypes, then a bigger prototype, and then attach it to their house. Okay? This is how you spot the fakes, because somebody who's faking is never going to do that. Is never going to go into running their house, is never going to be anything other than that one little thing and say, see, I did over unity. And I've been waiting for years for people to come up with things to say, hey, I created over unity. Okay, let's see it used. And then they just disappear. You don't even hear anything else about them. Okay? I just wanted to make that clear because I just got some more products in to hook to my house. So we have this running, okay? And this controls the energy that goes into that. I can turn that up or turn it down just with this variable, just like V in over unity. You have to have a variable, okay? And then the 1 means the unit, which means the battery source or the source of where it gets its energy from. So it could be capacitors or batteries. V over 1, okay? That is a physics term, and the symbol for it is Y. That's why I said I blame Back to the Future to starting this whole mess of trying to make this fake. And then, yes, my name is Lloyd. Guess what the actor is with the crazy hair that says, I hit my head and I came up with this symbol, the flux capacitor. And I'm going, his name was Lloyd. Come on, dudes. You can't make this stuff up. It's just time that I got old enough, man, since I was 14 and says, you know what? I need to start putting this out there because no one has ever explained it like I'm explaining in all these videos that I'm putting together step by step and giving you all the determination on what it is. Now, when I finish with it, then all these people are going to go, oh, this is what it is. But they never do. Go back over to all those things that says I created over unity and see if they explain their definition, the math behind it, the theories. Just go into details like I was explaining to someone else, explain it like you're describing a car. Okay? Now this is all different types of car. How will I recognize your car if you don't describe it to me from the next car? So all these people who say they have over unity and they don't explain, I was like, how do you know you're using over unity? They have one word. It's more power out than put in, which is a cop out because there's so many things that give you more power out than you put in. And there's a reason why it gives you more power out than you put in. Okay? One, let's go look at that. Okay. Let's look at something that has more power out than you put in. One, see that? That has a light. You've seen it on my other videos. That light runs on less than 1.5 volts. Amps is very, very low. Okay? So when you shine that light over all these solar cells, back and front, you're going to get more energy out because you have more solar cells being affected by this light. There's other things that's like this. Okay? So again, I says, well, you know, I'm going to work on this theory. I'm going to put this on there and I'm going to have it working in my house. These are the evidence of that. This all here is the evidence of that. And if they don't do the same and start explaining step by step, they're faking, or they've been tricked to believing all they have to do is say more power out the end, over unity. And that is not the definition of over unity. Okay? That's the definition of perpetual motion machine. And perpetual motion don't exist. They're fake and will always be fake because they break the laws of physics that we know. Now, the day someone does break the laws of physics that we know, it will be published around the world. This is not going to get published around the world. Why? Because it's common. It's easy to understand. Anyone can do it. Over unity is not perpetual motion. It's called indefinite motion. And it's giving you more power in something which we showed in the video. Dude, I just did one little thing and all of a sudden, instead of getting 9 hours or something, I'm getting 100 hours or something and more. But you got to put energy into it. And then we explain why you're getting that energy out. Okay? So these are things that we're doing. Okay? Over unity is just like a water wheel. You put water into a cup, the cup pours out. That's the thing. When you pour something, come on, get a glass and pour water into it. You're putting the source of energy over the cup until it's full. And then it lets it out. And the equal amount of energy goes in is the equal amount of energy out. Now, because that wheel is turning and you're able to multiply that energy coming out of that system, okay, doesn't mean that it's more power out than you put in. What you're doing is you're getting the true nature of the weight and the energy and everything else that's going into that water wheel, and you're only taking a fraction of that and getting it out of there. Now, when you learn to multiply that, like Nikola Tesla and stuff like that, you're able to get more efficient energy out of it but nothing is ever going to go back to 100%. And if you do, okay, then your definition of more power out than in is right at the threshold. And once you cross that threshold, you'll be there. But until people understand what the definition of over unity is, I suggest they use something else. Make up your own world. If you're smart enough to invent all these things you're inventing, you're smart enough to come up with your own word. Just like I did. Matter of fact, I'm writing a book to change my name because of all of you. Now, if I put that out there and everybody start using my word, oh, I made the word ugly and undesirable. And I'll be putting it out there and it says, look, dude, you can call it whatever you want to, over unity or this new name. But the whole point is the science behind it, which is important. Okay. So now I'm going to go into this. My little thing broke here, down here at the bottom here. That broke. So I started stripping it for parts and stuff. This right here, even though people have different names for it, I have a theory behind it. We're going to be working with this design, doing some little changes to it to turn this into what we call a not hard shell, but a solid state generator that has no moving parts, but it'll generate power, which is almost there anyway, because that's what it's designed to do, to give you a little boost. Okay, so it takes this 64 volts and puts it into these 100 volts until they full, and then it has a voltage doubler on here that people don't understand because it's hidden, and then all of a sudden you get more energy out than you put in. But that's not a definition. It's just a term, and when you understand the term, that is actually just taking the little energy that you put in, and then they're using this coil here, and then because you have a long wire core and all that energy being stored, and you drop it because it's making a magnetic flux, which is what a motor does, and any motor does this same too, that bike spec is going to give you a little extra energy, which they can now put into these bigger caps. Okay, but the one thing about these little things right here, it has a thing. You put voltage in here and it doubles the voltage, but not the amps. It's a trick on how to get both the amps and the voltage, and then people can start talking about this. That's the reason why I explain everything in, what is it? Wattage. Okay? Everything in wattage. If you don't have that W, you're not talking about anything. It's just you don't understand what we're doing or how we're doing it. You just hear some names, you like them and everything. So enough with that. We're going to talk about these. These are the new components that I'm about to put up. They just came from what store did I buy this from? Amazon. Okay, I wanted to control the amps and the actual voltage. That's why I bought these new ones instead of these old ones right here, where you can just variable just one thing and you kind of just have to deal with it. I want to be able to turn up the amps, and I want to be able to control the actual voltage. Okay, so that lets you know when you times this times that, you get your wattage out of it. Okay, when I put my solar cells on here, I know that I have to put the 24.2 and 9.6 at the minimum to get this much wattage out. This is why we're running this off of batteries. This is the reason why we're doing it the way we're doing it. So now I can explain it step by step on how these systems work and how did I come up with the information that I'm giving you. Okay? This is telling you what you should have your solar cells doing. So when I'm doing this, I can get that much out of it. Okay? So if I turn this up from 24, let's see if I can go up. See, 25. And look at this. Look at that. 237. Okay? See that? This only goes up to 10 volts, so the 10 volts, let's see if we can get it a little bit higher. Nine, let's see. Okay, now I'm at max. 26. And we'll see what we got over here. 241 and 40. So it's fluctuating back between 40 and 41. There go 42. Okay, you get the just idea. So now I'm going to switch that back down. And this is what we call a variable. This is what that water wheel simulation is telling you, the variable. And I want it right about there. And I'll take care of it later. So we're at 190, 112. So I'll turn it up so I can get my 200 back and get it just right. Okay, and then that's going to go, see how it goes down to 4 and 5 and everything, and then that gets affected on how much wattage it goes into it. So now I got to get my 9 back up, and that's the reason why I bought these new ones, so I can control the amps the way I need to and the voltage. And we'll see if that works out the way it's supposed to. These right here, I'm working with taking the screws out of this, which I got off the broke that, which went on the back of there like that. I'm gonna be buying some more because I don't like these, but I do like this. I'm gonna see if they sell this separately, and if they do, I'm going to actually mount that onto there like that and put a screw in there. Okay, and then the fan will be attached later on, and then it'll go up on the wall like that. See, on the side, it just screws in there on the side. And then I take some wood and I cover this up, and everything will be covered. All these cords will be inside little boxes, or what they call runners, or they have different names for it. And again, as we get through working with all this stuff, remember, this energy right here is going back into the grid of the house. Okay? So I just wanted to say those few things, get that off the air, just explaining just a little bit more so we can go back to not over unity, but what they call pass-through charging, and show you how we can get more energy in for just putting a little small energy back into it. And when you see that and how much time more that we can get, and you can use a solar cell to do that, it's going to be amazing once people understand what's going on and that this doesn't break the laws of physics. Thank you, and I'm out. Give you a pass of all the stuff that's going on, and we're going to end this video with all the tools and everything, and even the board that hasn't been filled yet. So thank you for watching the videos, and I'm out.